Most people think Mario's from Brooklyn. Some of the games even hint at it. And to be fair, internally, Mario's creator Shigeru Miyamoto has confirmed that they originally pictured Mario and Luigi as Italian-American blue-collared workers living underground in New York. But the truth is, in the games, Mario was born in the Mushroom Kingdom, delivered by a stork.
Oh shit.
In fact, none of the early Japanese manuals ever clearly state that Mario was from New York, or any real-world location for that matter. Instead, Mario's world was kept vague. Construction sites, sewers, and large buildings without a clear real-world setting. And as the series evolved, especially after Yoshi's Island, Nintendo shifted its focus on Mario as a native of the Mushroom Kingdom. And the deeper you dig into the games, the comics, the cartoons, even Nintendo's own interviews, the story gets way more complicated.
Say, Mahatma, any Koopas bothering you?
So I'm going to clear the air and focus only on what's been officially established in the games themselves. To answer the question, where was Mario really born? And side note, the movie tells its own version of the story in a separate universe, so we'll set that aside for another time. Welcome to my new segment, Lore Lord. Quick bites of gaming's burning mysteries.
If you thought it, I've been new.
We gotta go way back to where it all started, 1981's Donkey Kong. The debut of both Donkey Kong and Mario. Yes, Jumpman is canonically Mario. Donkey Kong's plot is simple. A giant ape kidnaps a woman, later named Pauline, and takes her to the top of a construction site in a big city. It's up to a young carpenter, Jumpman, or Mario, to rescue her. There isn't much else to dissect plot-wise, but the setting is important to note. The original Japanese flyer for Donkey Kong kept it simple. Climb the under-construction building to rescue the lady taken away by Kong. It didn't explicitly say New York, but internally, Miyamoto and the team pictured Donkey Kong's setting as a New York-like city, especially drawing influence from the King Kong films. And part of that influence shows up clearly. A giant ape carrying a woman up a building was an obvious nod to the famous movie ending. And there's some history with Popeye here as well, but we're not going to get into all that in this video. While Mario was initially a carpenter in Donkey Kong, it wouldn't be until a couple years later with the release of Mario Brothers in 1983 where he would navigate pipes in the sewers as a plumber alongside his brother Luigi. We won't talk about that time Mario kept Donkey Kong locked away from his son, that's a different story. But Mario Brothers marked the first time American marketing described Mario as working in New York's underground pipes, and they really laid into that Italian-American Brooklyn culture to depict him, or more specifically Luigi, in this one commercial. Today, as gaming has matured, series like Mario have gradually established a more unified canon. So shortly after their adventures in the sewers, Mario and Luigi would work as demolition workers in 1985's Wrecking Crew, where they'd take a job demolishing a series of structures by breaking down walls, ladders, and other objects. And the setting again is a big city, seeing as there are a series of tall buildings that the Mario brothers need to help destroy. But again, the manuals don't name a specific city. All of this will be important for later. A crisis arises in the Mushroom Kingdom. The evil Koopa King Bowser invades, using black magic to turn the kingdom's peaceful citizens into blocks, plants, and stones. The only one who can break the spell is Princess Toadstool, or Peach, depending which region you're from. When she's kidnapped by Bowser, the Mario brothers step in to rescue her and to save the people of the Mushroom Kingdom. So the player will go through the game and Mario successfully saves the princess, freeing the kingdom in the process. And from that point on, he stays in the Mushroom Kingdom, living his life as a hero and stepping in whenever the princess or the surrounding lands need his help. It's worth noting, in the early games, there's no lore explaining how Mario got to the Mushroom Kingdom in the first place. He's simply there, already handling the situation. So instead of treating the Mushroom Kingdom like a separate fantasy world he somehow traveled to, it's more accurate to think of Mario just going back at some point until otherwise stated. There was still one big question that hadn't been answered yet. Where did Mario himself come from? That answer wouldn't come until nearly a decade later, with a game that finally gave Mario his true origin story. Super Mario World 2: Yoshi's Island, released for the Super Nintendo in 1995. The game that would finally give Mario an official origin story. It opens with the Mario brothers being delivered by a stork to their parents in the Mushroom Kingdom, but trouble is brewing. Kamek, caretaker of the young Bowser, foresees that these two children will cause massive problems for the Koopa family, so he tries to snuff them out early. He attacks the stork mid-delivery, kidnapping Luigi and the stork while he was at it, while Mario falls safely onto Yoshi's Island, where Yoshi finds him and sets off on an adventure to rescue Luigi, stop Bowser, and reunite the brothers with their parents. After a climactic battle with baby Bowser and Kamek, the Yoshi clan saves Luigi and the exhausted stork, who peacefully flies the babies home. But during the end credits, we see the stork arrive at their parents' house, a house shaped like a mushroom. Here it's not explicitly stated to be the Mushroom Kingdom, but it's heavily implied based on the setting and imagery. And where these two are now is one of the biggest Nintendo mysteries I'd like to figure out. Fast forward to 2006's Yoshi's Island DS, a follow-up to the original game. But this time, Kamek and his forces steal babies across the Mushroom Kingdom to find the 7 Star Children, a plot orchestrated by Bowser from the future to seize universal power. Mario and Luigi are among the kidnapped children, confirming again that they live in the Mushroom Kingdom during their early years. Some fans argue this game is non-canon to the series, but even if we take it out of the equation, there was also 2014's Yoshi's New Island, which is considered a direct sequel to the original Yoshi's Island. The stork realized he messed up the delivery and gave the babies to the wrong parents, so his ass is on the line. He quickly tries to course correct, but's ambushed by Kamek again, kidnapping Luigi and the stork a second time, while Mario falls to the Yoshi's second home, Egg Island. So if the wrong parents were in the Mushroom Kingdom, were their correct parents in New York this whole time? Nah, they're delivered to another mushroom house. But across 3 different games, Yoshi's Island DS, and Yoshi's New Island, it's consistently confirmed Mario and Luigi are Mushroom Kingdom natives. You could argue they weren't literally born there since the stork is delivering them from somewhere else, but don't be that guy. So currently in Mario's lore, New York is not a place that exists in this world. On one hand, they fully embraced it in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, doubling down on the idea that Mario and Luigi are from Brooklyn, and from a narrative standpoint, that makes sense. But in the games themselves, where exactly did all of those early odd jobs take place? We'll look no further than Super Mario Odyssey, where we're introduced to New Donk City, a sweeping cityscape built atop massive skyscrapers, and that honestly makes no physical sense. But this city is part of the larger Metro Kingdom, clearly modeled after New York City. But it's important to note, this is still a fictional place within Mario's world. And while it's never explicitly confirmed, there are tons of hints suggesting New Donk City ties back to the original Donkey Kong incident. For starters, Pauline, the original damsel from Donkey Kong, is now the city's mayor, hosting the New Donk City Festival, which even features a mission where Mario reenacts the original arcade game. One of the New Donkers even says, "This festival tells the story of our city's beginnings." Not to mention the construction sites scattered across the city are direct visual callbacks to the original Donkey Kong. There's even a city brochure that reads, "Always be constructing. New Donkers are used to construction and new developments. There's always work being done below ground, on rooftops, and inside buildings, so power lines never get taken down. They run throughout the town." Which sounds like a giant wink to Donkey Kong, Mario Bros., and Wrecking Crew all at once. And leading up to Odyssey's release, Nintendo even tweeted graffiti art of Pauline, teasing, "This piece has some kind of link to the city's history." So who knows, maybe New Donk City even had a different name once, before a certain ape and a certain carpenter left their mark on it. But the important thing is, in the games today, New York doesn't exist. So let's recap and I'll fill in some gaps with slight creative liberties. At the time of this video, Mario and Luigi's origins begin with their delivery by a stork to their parents' home in the Mushroom Kingdom. As they grew, they may have ventured to urban areas, perhaps a city that would later become New Donk City, where Mario worked odd jobs like carpentry, plumbing, and demolition. However, when Princess Peach was kidnapped in the Mushroom Kingdom, Mario, along with his brother, returned to his homeland to save her, becoming the heroes we know today.
I did it.
And so while we've traced Mario's journey to the Mushroom Kingdom, the origin of that all-important stork remains shrouded in absolute mystery. Nintendo has never offered a single clue, a passing remark, or even a cryptic Easter egg about where this crucial character came from. And it will remain a blank page in the history books of the Mushroom Kingdom, a question mark flying through the clouds. Let me know in the comments any topics you guys would like to hear for future Lore Lords. See ya.